Hello, everyone. Welcome to another seminar that I'm putting together. It's finding happiness in real estate. I know it's a very broad subject, what is happiness, but the more of the question is, what is happiness to you? How to find happiness? Well, like I said to you, accepting who you are, accepting how others behave, holding yourself accountable, doing your best. Look, don't expect results to occur and not do your best. I mean, that's called luck, okay? When you do your best, you have a better probability of finding the results you're looking for than when you're not doing your best. And I'm sure you've run into situations where you don't feel like doing something and you don't do your best. Well, you have an armor. Imagine if you have an armor and you're going into battle. You prepare. You put your armor on. You bring your whatever weapons you're gonna be using. If you're gonna get into a battle, right? Like let's say a physical battle. I mean, you can imagine that's the kind of thing you're gonna have your shield, you have your helmet, all those things, right? That's preparation. That's part of doing your best. Now, in the modern world, when we go to battle, for ladies, a lot of time we put on our makeup, make our hair really nicely done, do a little blow drying, get some perm, whatever you're trying to do out there. And for men, basically, we dress up in suits or we dress up in our best clothes or attire that we're trying to do. We tend to take showers, I'm sure. We brush our teeth at least twice a day, I would hope, because I had a group of people one day who told me like, oh, that's optional. I'm like, okay. Yeah, it's optional for now until you find the result like 5-7 years from now and your teeth are rotten, right? So everything actually comes into doing your best. Even taking care of your health. It's very important that you take care of your health. Your maintenance of your teeth. I mean, sometimes you don't feel like brushing your teeth when you come home and you're exhausted, right? But I still do, because I know the consequences of going to the dentist, what it feels like when you didn't take care of your teeth. Yeah, they'll be yanking tooth out of your mouth, drilling holes in there, putting a lot of Novocaine, and it's painful with the needles and stuff. I mean, I just imagine that even when I'm exhausted, and then I actually kind of end up brushing my teeth just because of that idea of going to a dentist. It feels like when you don't take care of yourself, that kind of stuff. So doing your best on everything, not just with your work, not with just the way you appear, not just when you actually meet a client, but also your personal hygiene. It's much nicer to work with people with nice hygiene, I mean, I'm pretty sure some of you sat down with a client with a BO or something, and you're like, oh my gosh, how long, when is this meeting over? I mean, or bad breath. And you're like saying like, okay, 6 feet apart, COVID, stay 6 feet apart. And let's keep wearing our masks because it stinks in here otherwise. Luckily, actually, we got COVID for you then at that point, right? So live in the present. That's another thing that you have to keep in mind. Like I told you, get rid of the limiting beliefs. Here's the thing. All of us have limiting beliefs. And as soon as you open up that limiting beliefs, then there's another limit to that opened up limiting beliefs. So you think everything is open until you get to your destination, right? So I'll give you an example. At 13, 14 years old, I started working. I started seeing the value of working and making money. I was like making like $6 an hour or something like that. Back then, it was pretty good already. And I ended up making $8 an hour. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can only imagine if I can work so hard, I can make $100,000, right? That was my belief. But then once I started learning the business and my first year came around, I made $75,000. I'm like, wait a minute. 75,000 is not going to cut it. I think I'm going after 250 now, right? But the fact is, my mindset was limited. But I always wanted to make at 36 years old, I wanted to have $1 million. I mean, like net worth. And I did make it there. But it wasn't from the limiting beliefs. I got rid of the limiting beliefs. I started figuring out that it's just a step-by-step process. if you want to get to a particular destination. So if you want to make $100,000, then yeah, that's perfectly fine. But once you start getting close to your 100 grand, all of a sudden that limit starts to go up, especially if you're not working for somebody that has a ceiling, right? That's so beautiful about our business. Our business is like, a glass ceiling. You can literally break through it and start making the kind of money you want to make, and literally retire in 3 years if you want it, or sooner. I've seen people do so well in this business that right now, today, they're not even working anymore, and they don't need to, because working is a factor of the idea whether you work because you love what you do, right, or you work because the bill's chasing you. I'd rather be the other one, the other side, where the bill's not chasing me and I'm just working because I enjoy it. Or you could do both, but the reality of it is it's much better not having any bills to be chased with. And having fun along the way. That's another thing. Finding happiness is having fun along the way. Certain things that somebody can look at and say that it's not fun, I can look at it and say, well, this is actually fun. But then the person tells me, how can you see it? It's fun. It's, we're sweeping the floor. And I say, well, it's fun because look, when you finish sweeping the floor looks clean. I accomplished something. You see that? So little things can make you happy, and even something that's mundane or boring or something that you don't enjoy, you can make it enjoyable. Just gotta think about it and correlate it to something that's fun. Why be happy? Well, your relationship depends on it. I don't know how many people are in miserable relationships because they're unhappy. Not because of the relationship, it's because they're unhappy within themselves. They haven't figured out what's wrong with them. Why are they feeling the way they're feeling? Like I told you, the step-by-step is really very important for you to kind of follow, because that will find an opening for you to feel so much better, because some of your unhappiness roots back from your genes, inherited, and others actually rooting back from your childhood, which is parented. So some of your unhappiness comes from your own parents kind of creating this world for you in terms of what you can and cannot do. And based on that limiting beliefs, and based on those limitations that was put on you, or based on the hell that you went through when you did something, or based on the abuse that you gone through when you were a child, all that stuff is still with you. Why? Because you have not identified it. So, but how does this relate to our business? Well, like I told you before, this is your package. This is who I sell in real estate. Me. That's what I sell in real estate. I sell me. When I say I sell me, I sell the idea that I'm a person that's caring, that's kind, that's happy. So that's how it affects our business. Your business will naturally grow through your influence. Influential people tend to be positive, and I don't know how many people you know that's very negative and still succeed, very few of them. Because the world of success is not an island. The world of success is the whole world. When I say that is you not by yourself succeeding. Most of the most successful people that discover things, that accomplish things, have others around them supporting them. Now, why would people want to follow you? Why would people want to buy from you? Why would people want to sell from you if you're depressed? I'll give you an example. I meet a client and client asks me, it's like, hey, what do you think about this house? Well, I don't know, that house reminds me of terrible things in my childhood. That house feels like when you enter the hallway, it feels so dark and gloomy. Like, when I used to be chased with a broomstick by my mother. That's what it reminds me of. Try selling that. See if that works for you. So try selling that way, right? So the idea of your history, your past, or whatever it is, affects where you are today. That's why you tend to have people that are more successful than others on the get-go, but others actually become more successful later in life, mainly because they figured out what happened in the past that's holding them back. Well, that's what you need to find for yourself. Because at the end of the day, nobody can sell the house for you. It's you. And also, nobody can set up a group of people that will work for you if you're not somebody that people can respect, or somebody that people would want to be around. I mean, I don't want to be around gloomy people. I mean, do you? This is a question you have to ask yourself. Happiness is contagious. See, the more happier you are, the more you attract people. I don't know how many times you've been to a party or an event. Don't you tend to gravitate to those people who are doing all these activities that's fun? Well, that's, like I told you, it's natural for us to attach to something fun or to something that makes us feel good. And that's what makes it contagious. There's a study actually at Harvard University that a certain amount of feet from a person, if you smile at them, 80% of the time the person will smile back at you. As a matter of fact, the rule in the Ritz-Carlton, apparently, and that's what made that organization so famous, is if every employee is trained to greet a guest when they're less than 6 feet apart from them. So that's part of the culture that was created within the organization. And it worked because everybody feels like, welcome. Smiling at somebody, being happy, all those things kind of attracts other people to do the same. There's a tendency, even with babies or children. Actually, I have a 1-year-old child right now. I mean, if I smile at him enough, he will smile back. I mean, I didn't say anything. He doesn't know what I'm talking about. He's just looking at my gesture, right? So if I'm positive, my son is happy. If I'm happy walking around, I mean, I can see him. I mean, half the time when I see him, if he ever cries or hurt himself, I mean, I just kind of get around him, or he's got a attachment to the mother. So, sometimes when the mom have to actually like leave the room for something, that the child cries, and I'm able to actually calm him down through my attitude. But if I started getting angry or getting upset or that kind of thing, then I just translate that to the person. So, sadness is also contagious. So feelings are contagious in general, if you think about it. If you ever seen a situation where somebody cries and they don't even know why they're crying, but if you see their facial expression is so painful and and you almost start crying as well, it's because, the feelings transfer. So happiness is contagious in that sense. People want to rely on people who are positive. So that's a given. It sucks to be unhappy, right? Your health is affected by unhappiness. And like I said, there's been studies done on this, that your health is affected based on how unhappy you are in your life. You relieve stress on yourself and others. And it's so true. When you hang out with people that are positive and they're happy, I tell you, it tends to kind of get inside you, and whatever problems that you have, it's like, oh my gosh, I want to come back to this group again. You tend to want to attract back to it. Well, we even have a checklist here, guys. Checklist to happiness in real estate. Not just in real estate, but overall. Okay? Number 1, exercise. Do you exercise? By the way, I put it all in question because you need to ask yourself, do you exercise? Do you sleep well? Do you eat healthy? Did I accomplish my to-do list? Did I follow my not to-do list? Did I spend time on prospecting? Did I build or improve my relationships with others? Did I set up appointments with others? Did I work on my business instead of in it? Did I spend quality time with my family? Am I taking breaks or vacations in between? Am I living a balanced life? Do I create time for myself and my hobbies? Do I help others on a regular basis? Do I visit my doctor for checkups? Do I plan my life, or am I in someone else's plan? If you ask yourself that last question, it's very good to know. Because if you're in someone else's plan, I guarantee you're not happy. So, here we go. So, the very top one, this is my quote: happiness comes from within, even when having nothing. Because happiness is about finding meaning and fulfillment in life, as well as appreciating what you already have. It's a given. Whatever you are in your life, accept it, be in it, have fun. And there's a philosopher of an Emperor Marcus Aurelius. I think you guys know this guy. I heard it from Gladiator, that movie. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. So these are the quotes that I would actually remember out of this seminar. At the end of the day, it's up to you to decide whether you want to be happy or not. Okay? Well, that's it for my seminar, and enjoy your day. Be happy.